This guy's 3-betting too much in the button, so I'm just going to fold 4-5 suited and rather just open a tighter range and let him 3-bet me and make some mistakes when I'm opening tighter, because he would see my stats as being that looking like that I open quite wide in the cutoff, so he'll be 3-betting me a lot in the button. I'm one of the people that probably makes this 3-bet so high. It's actually interesting to talk about, so we'll get to that. But yeah, I'm probably one of the people that makes this 3-bet so high from the cutoff. From the button. So when I see him there, I'm just going to tighten up my range, and then he'll be making a mistake. So that's something interesting to talk about. You need to realize when someone has a 3-bet, or any stat that's absurdly high, like a 3-bet, for example, this guy here, Andrew Boccia or whatever, his 3-bet blind versus blind is 26%. Now, he's going to be 3-betting, I would assume, if he's, I mean, you got to know the guy's a winning player, or at least some kind of clued player. He's 3-betting really, really high versus people who are opening really, really wide in the small blind. So he's taking advantage of that. He's exploiting people who open wide in the small blind. So if you're a person that opens tight in the small blind, don't assume that people are going to be 3-betting you really wide in those positions. If you're opening tight, then they're probably not going to be doing it. But I mean, you just got to judge yourself. You got to keep that in mind. They're going to be 3-betting those people. And if you are someone that does 3-bet, that does open really, really wide in the small blind, that's actually a good adjustment that he's making by 3-betting you a lot. So you should be tightening your range. I mean, obviously the other option is to be 4-betting light and deciding to get it in and like playing like kind of like a more aggressive style. But I think the best play in most situations is just to tighten up. When someone's playing too loose in situations, rather tighten up and see if they adjust to you tightening up, because that's the easiest adjustment to make. It's not the funnest or like the I guess coolest adjustment to make, but I think it's the most profitable adjustment in most situations. Kadoosh bets this flop. His range is so wide, he's going to have like a lot of draws and stuff on this board, and I think he's also just going to have a lot of spaz and like random air. So I'd like to raise for protection. And also for spaz value. He's just not going to have a lot of hands, and I don't think he's going to believe me, so I'm pretty much raising for value here, hoping that he's going to spaz, and also just raising to fold out his crap, and also just to kind of take initiative. Like if I raise that's a very small raise I'm doing. I'm not raising big at all, but if I raise like that and he 3-bets, I'm pretty happy just shipping it in. He's not going to have with opening 31% of hands, being not positionally aware. He's just going to have so much crap in that situation that if he does like 3-bet me or something, 3-bet my raise, I'm just happy shipping it in there and going against a lot of draws and a lot of garbage versus like a really bad player or weaker player like him. And also, if he calls, it's not the worst situation in the world either. I can check back the turn and get to showdown quite often. And, yeah, I just think, and I mean, when we raise, like when we do like a 1.5x raise or whatever, he's going to fold out a lot of hands that had decent equity versus us, and that we'd be unsure of, like on a king turn, an ace turn, a queen turn when he bets again. We're not feeling too happy about our hand really, when we don't know so much about the player. So I prefer just raising, getting initiative, and just having control on the hand, getting a bit of information out of him really, and at the same time, there's some benefits and some value in raising there as well, because fish generally spaz on unpaired boards, so that's something you'll notice. There's a few things that fish like to do in certain situations that just fish have in common, like a check min raise on the turn is always the nuts. Overbetting by fish in general is really, really strong, especially on the river. Table 3, I'm going to bet. I think it's the best play. I could check call as well, but I think betting's the best play versus Yenim, given what I think his range is in the flop, which is going to be a lot of kings and stuff. And if I check there, he's just going to check back the turn, and then on the river, I don't get a lot of respect. I don't get a lot of I think I get a lot of respect for a bet check bet line there. When I check the ace and then bet the river, I don't think he's going to call me with the king. I think he's more likely to call the king when I bet there, because he's going to expect that I barrel all my draws on the ace. So I might have said that a bit too quickly. I'll just say it again. So basically, when the ace comes, I think most players expect you to barrel it with a wide range. So when you have the ace, you just should barrel it. Like if you check there, most of their hands anyway, unless they had draws. But I mean, I have the ace high flush draw, so there's just not that many draws he's going to have. But and not many floats because there was a fish in the pot. But Yeah, so when I bet the turn, if I check the turn, I think he's going to check back a lot of his kings, or if he has a king, he's going to bet once, then fold, then check back the river. So yeah, I think the best play there is just to bet and assume that he thinks you're going to be barreling this ace wide. With all your draws and stuff like that, and all your gut shots, all your Broadway type hands. So I think you get more value from a king there than you do from check calling or any other play.